Hello everybody, it's Ryan, and today I just wanted to take a quick look at this ridiculously beautiful Final Fantasy art book I acquired recently. This book is called The Sky, which, if I adjust it this way, you can see that is in fact the title of the book. Um, the Sky is Yoshitaka Amano's art for Final Fantasy. Uh, Collected in book form. It's actually a series of 3 individually available hardcovers that Dark Horse has since compiled into this beautiful gift set. I think it retails for around $98 Canadian at the very least. I couldn't tell you how much more it is anywhere else, but needless to say, it is a beautiful gift set, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever purchased. So maybe we can all just kind of take a look at it and just kind of go over some of the stuff that's included in this set. So here we have just the box itself. As you can see, it's quite big. This is my hand next to it. In terms of girth, it is quite big. Once again, my hand for comparison. But it's beautiful. It's a hard box made of some kind of reinforced cardboard with this lenticular kind of fabric covering it. It's got a beautiful reflective kind of typeface here with the title of the book. The Art of Final Fantasy, Yoshitaka Amano, he's the artist. This is just an excerpt from the book itself. Pretty remarkable thing. Dark Horse logo, just so that you remember who the fuck is giving you the privilege of owning it this way. And if you'll just excuse the camera for a second. This is a list of the books that it includes in the back. So, as you can see, Book 1 of The Sky includes the art for Final Fantasies 1 through to 3. Book 2 is Final Fantasies 4, 5, and 6. And Book 3 is Final Fantasies 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it goes all the way up to 10. I know Amano has done work for all the rest of the games in the series, but honestly, as you'll see when we maybe look around at Book 3, his work becomes kind of less and less prominent as the series goes on. Initially, it's a lot of the enemies and stuff in the game is based directly on his work, but going forward, it's a lot of it is closer to Tetsuya Nomura and other artists and developers who are working with the series' art. Yeah, like it does include some Amano sketches for 7 and some Amano sketches for 8, 9, and 10. They're, like I said, not as plentiful, but they're there, and they're quite unique to see his takes on characters that you're probably more familiar seeing in that Nomura art style. So we can switch over and kind of look at the individual volumes. So we're just gonna open up the book, or I should say, the box containing the books. So it opens at the side like this. There is a kind of a little bit of fabric sticking out of the side for you to make that simple. These are the 3 hardcovers contained within. They're kind of hard to take out, but I will take them out so that you can have a look at the individual books. So this is Book 1 of The Sky, The Art of Final Fantasy. See, there's a big 1 on the title. It is quite lovely. Pages are of a very nice, high quality, glossy, weighty paper. Your first little bit of art over here. There you go. So this is for the first Final Fantasy in 1987. You've got Garland, Warrior of Light encountering a behemoth. There's another Warrior of Light on the interior cover. And here we just have Princess Sarah, the Kingdom of Cornelia, and then just a lot of concept art, dragons, Another, I guess that's Chaos, or Garland as Chaos, Warrior of Light. A lot of monster artwork, lots of conceptual artwork for the monsters. You've got a Chimera there, a bunch of other recognizable Final Fantasy characters. A Sahagin over here. But it's a very impressive spread. I believe that is a Beholder. But lots of really neat characters here. So that's just the stuff for one. There's quite a bit. There's Chaos. And then you got the Fiends here. You have the Lich, Tiamat, I believe, Kali, and somewhere here. There should be the other one. But yeah, very impressive. Of course, Final Fantasy II. You've got Firion there. And just a whole bunch of other beautiful artwork. 2 is not a very good game, but the art is great, and I love the character designs. There's Leon. We've got Guy, who's a big boy. Maria, and Sid and Gordon. Rickard. We have Paul over here. You get the idea. Joseph. Minwoo, who is possibly one of my favorite designs in the series, even though he never really does much. He just kind of joins your party and fucking dies. Borgen. The Emperor. Emperor Mateus. He looks very, very good. I love his color scheme. He's a very stupid villain with bad motivations. Hilda, who's kind of like the leader. Layla, who just once again, lovely character design, gorgeous color palette. You get the idea. Of course, you have more monsters. You've got a Zone Eater here. A whole bunch of wild creatures just kind of going at the place. Kate Sith. I think that was a Kate Sith. Yeah, it's a Kate Sith. Lots of cool stuff here. A bomb and a jelly. Forget what they're called. Lots of neato kind of dudes. Once again, just a plethora of beautiful character designs. I'm just going to switch this to like that so that you have a better view. But really gorgeous stuff. There's Xande, and Xande should indicate that this is the beginning of the Final Fantasy III concept art. 3 is a game I have a lot of nostalgia for. I played the the DS remake of it religiously. It is one of my favorite games in the series. I guess that's the Warrior of Light from the original game who kind of appears in the logo. He's a generic character in the original version of the game for the NES, but in the remake he is Luneth. Here we go, we've got more Luneth. I suppose. And then just a plethora of other designs. Really, really gorgeous stuff. Sarah Altney. These are the 4 Onion Knights or Warriors of Light. Looking at the Crystal Tower, I suppose. Sarah is a princess who joins her party. Doga, Prince Alice, Yunai as a young one, and Yunai as an old one. Arya, Sid. It's my favorite Sid design, with the exception of Final Fantasy VII's. I think this is the design, and 4 too. Well, Sid is good in a lot of games, but this is probably one of my favorite Sid designs. Sorry, you can't really get a good look at him. There he is. He's a nice Sid. Of course, we've got Desh, who's got a very cool character design. Started out initially very different. This is the original concept for Desh. Does not look like the same man. And we've got, this is just a shinobi who's a boss in the game. The Kunoichi, Goldor, or the Gold Knight. A mer person, I suppose. The Jean, who's like the first major boss in the game. Gutsuko the Thief, who is like a Phantom Thief character that you fight. He gets turned into the Salamander by the powers of the Fire Crystal, and you have to fight him there. I know all the details of this game. That's the Titan, I believe. can't quite recall who this bloke is over here. Might be a generic enemy. That is the Kraken, who's one of the 4 kind of major bosses of the game. Cerberus. This is Doga when he's transformed into a monster. Hein, who is also one of my favorite character designs in the series. He's just a skeleton man with a fucking dope-ass costume. He looks really good. This is Zande, or Zand. I've always pronounced it Zande. He's the, I suppose, the primary antagonist of the game. He's... How do I describe? He's a bitchy little piece of shit who didn't accept the really great and important gift that his teacher, the great sage Noah, imparted upon him, which is the gift of mortality. Didn't really respect that. There's Echidna, one of the final bosses of the game. Giant rat of some sort. There's the salamander. Love that design. And the game is actually red, but I like this blue take on it a little more. There's, I think, a generic enemy of it later on that uses the same, I guess in the original game, sprites, but in the 3D game, models, as him, but he's recolored to blue. I like that design a lot better, though. There's the 2-headed dragon, another just a great dragon design. I love those heads. I like that the eyes are 2 different colors. That's a nice detail. This is another kind of dragon. I'm not terribly certain what kind. Just another bunch of weirdos. Medusa is a pretty major boss in the game. And that's the Garuda, who is another fucking annoying boss in the goddamn game. Some kind of... I think that's Charybdis or Scylla, one of the 2. This is... I think that's Scylla. Doesn't really look like Scylla. This is Arhymen, who's one of the final bosses of the game. He's very difficult. He is a huge fucking asshole when you fight him. Leviathan. I think this is kind of supposed to be a chocobo, but it's a very weird looking chocobo. That's the Titan, I think, that you can summon, or the Giant, or something like that. That is Odin. That is a fantastic Odin design. You can get his spear in the game later on, which is really neat. Rama, these are just all the summons now, I guess. Rama, Shiva, one of my other favorite designs. A beautiful color palette for this character. Rama looks quite good too, but I mean, he's got a fantastic facial hair. That's Ifrit, who is the classic fire summon for the series. He's been in pretty much every game. And of course, Bahamut, who is the King of Dragons. This is, I think, the original Bahamut design. I love it. It's fucking amazing. And this is the Cloud of Darkness, who's like the final boss of the game. Kind of shows up out of nowhere in terms of the story, but I like the design at the very least. Like everything in this series, sometimes it's bad, but the designs are great. It also contains other illustrations at the back. Some other just kind of characters. Furion, it's Leon and Maria and Guy. Yeah, Furion right there. I really, really do. That's some risque art right there. But yeah, some real cool stuff going on in this book. So that's book 1 of the Sky. Really, really beautiful. And here we have book 2. Once again, it's got a big old 2 on the cover. So let's take a look at this lovely thing now. So of course, this begins with my favorite game in the series, Final Fantasy IV. So here we have Cecil as a Dark Knight, one of my favorite protagonists in the series, probably my favorite protagonist. And then we have Cecil as a Paladin. Final Fantasy IV. Sorry, let's, there we go. This is the airship from the first Final Fantasy, the Enterprise. Which looks nothing like that, by the way. We have Edward's hovercraft. Then we've got over here the Lunar Whale, which is a pretty stellar design, I think. Really one of my favorite airship designs in the series. It's the airship that can go to space. This is the Tower of Babil, which is kind of like a dungeon slash boss that you fight. It's like a giant robot that comes from a tower. Here we have Cecil Harvey. That's his name. It's kind of funny that his last name's Harvey. It's I guess it's mundane, but here we go. Some beautiful concept art for him. Honestly, one of the most like impressive designs. It's not the first Dark Knight in the series. You can play as a Dark Knight in 3, and Leon is a Dark Knight for most of Final Fantasy 2, and he's kind of like your recurring enemy. But Cecil's like the first Dark Knight to be a protagonist, I suppose. Here's Cecil over here as a paladin. So midway through the game, or not midway, more like a third of the way into the game, Cecil becomes a paladin. He sheds his Dark Knight armor and professes that he will no longer use the Dark Blade, and his abilities completely change. He's got like a white magic preference, and he's got a bunch of interesting and helpful kind of abilities. He's got very good health. We got Kane over here. Stellar design. Kane is kind of the Leon of this game, but he does eventually join your party. Kind of like a recurring enemy who is your friend in disguise or whatever. He's being controlled by Golbez, who's the villain. We got Rosa, who's the love interest of the game. She's a white mage. She's got bows. She's pretty good. Here's Sid. This is the Sid from this game. I like him. He's a beefy guy. He's got a nice beard. He's older. We've got... This is Kane out of his armor. Kind of a cool design. And this is Edward the Bard, the Spoony Bard. A really interesting character. Kind of like an unconventional character in that he's... I don't know. He's a bard, but he does become stronger throughout the game. Got Yang over here. He's a monk. Very good design for a monk. He's got 2 swords, which he does not use. He's got great hair. Just a very great silhouette. Once again, Tella. He's an old sage, so he's kind of like a magic expert. Just lovely stuff here, really. Palom and Porom, who are 2 little kid black and white mages. They're twins. They've got a great ability called Twin Cast, where they can summon like a super powerful spell. There they be. I think they're great characters. They're very, very fun. And they give Cecil a lot of shit early on, which I kind of like. Or at least Palom does, I suppose. Here's Rydia. Rydia grows up in the game. Like, she kind of gets time skipped into an adult, or to an older woman, or an older teen at the very least, but here she is as like a child. And then she goes to like the Land of Summons and learns to be a stronger summoner, and in the Land of Summons time passes differently, so when she comes back, she's an adult. I love that design. Green is such a great and prominent color in this game with a lot of characters. Palom and Porom, red and green. Edward's got a bit of green on him too, and then Rydia, her entire thing is green, and I love the design. It stands out very nicely. Then we've got Edge over here. Fucking edgy bastard is right, because he named himself Edge. His name is Edward too, though, so I guess it was to not confuse him with the other Edward. He's a ninja. He's also a prince. Great design for a ninja character. And once again, just a fantastic color scheme. Lots of purple. Purple's also a very dominant color in the game. And Fusoya, who's kind of one of the last party members, he's a Lunarian. So he's from the moon. He's like a big beard man, which is kind of a cool design, I think. And he's the brother of Cecil's father. This is Azura. Azura is the queen of the summons. Here she is again. You have to fight her in order to summon her. This is Barnabas, who's the kind of a Frankenstein's monster to Dr. Lugai. Over here is Frankenstein. When you fight Lugai and Barnabas, Lugai comes back as this creepy little mecha skeleton with like rockets and shit. That's a really annoying fight. Then we just got a bunch of enemy designs here. This is a zoo bird. This is Baron Soldier. Over here too. This is was Baigan. This is Baigan when he's turned into a monster. He's the captain of the Baron Guard, who joins Golbez, who's the game's antagonist. And we just got a couple of other characters here. Kenyazo, he's like the water boss. We have Scarmiglione, who's the Earth boss. He's like an undead character. We have Barbaricia, who's the Wind character. She's got her hair all twirled around her like a tornado. And Rubicante, who's the Fire boss. They call them the Archfiends, the Elemental Archfiends. This is the Mist Dragon, which is a summon that you can acquire in the game. This paper is very nice. It's great quality, glossy, almost cardstock. These are the Calco and the Brina, and that's the Calco Brina. You have to fight a bunch of creepy dolls. I hate them. They're scary and they're also annoying to fight. It's the green dragon over here. Some red dragon. More dragons and nice dragons. It's the lunar dragon, who's like a bone dragon. Shadow dragon, who you have to fight, who is the dark elf. Turns into like the dark dragon. The Octomammoth. Really, really great. I fucking love this character's face. I love its fucking design. It's so twisted and ugly. I love it. The Mom Bomb, who is a really big version of like a bomb enemy, who's those generic enemies that explode. Fucking scary. And we've got the Magus sisters. Here we go. Edge's parents, the king and queen, are turned into monsters, and you have to fight them. That's what they look like. This is just kind of like a Monster Man, but fucking this shit is truly weird, which is what I like about Amano, is he lets his imagination run wild with some of these designs. The Antlion, here's the Antlion coming out of the fucking sand, really scary. There it is, really gross, kind of big bug that you have to fight. This is the Demon Wall. It is a wall with a demon face that crushes you. Really fucking bullshit fight, and I hate that fight in that game. And that's the Giant of Babil, I believe. There's a whole bunch of crazy characters here. A bunch of these great designs. And there's Golbez. There's the Death Mask, which this thing is fucking creepy. And then Golbez, who is the primary antagonist of the game. Great design. Just Darth Vader as fuck, really. And then the final boss of the game, Zemis and Zeromus, who is kind of like the evil lingering will. It's a two-stage boss fight. You first fight Zemus. He's like a moon wizard. Final Fantasy V, a game that you've heard me talk about on the podcast. We're just going to kind of go through this a little more quick. I just wanted to spend a lot of time on 4. There's all the party on the airship. Y'all riding Bartz's Chocobo. Just lots of great designs here. Once again, it's a beautiful book. Lena, there we go, we got Lena. Galuf. Ferris. I love Ferris's design. Sid of Previa. It's really cool stuff. And Gilgamesh, who's like the standout, one of the standout designs in the game. Battle of the Big Bridge is one of the greatest video game compositions of all time. And he's got to be here somewhere. The primary antagonist of the game is X-Death, who has one of my favorite designs. This is the true form of X-Death, who's kind of like he's like a creepy... He's actually a tree, which is a very weird detail about that character. I just want to find the design. There's X-Death. What I like the most about them is they chose a pretty unconventional color scheme for an antagonist. He's just extremely complicated sky blue armor. Really just a gorgeous design. Here's another great one of him, just kind of... He's got like a hookah going over fucking here, even though he's like a tree man. But yeah, he's like a demon who's like the lingering will of like a tree that was killed. He's got a strange motivation. He wants to destroy the world, of course. And there's Creel, who kind of becomes one of your party members later on in the game. But anyway, you get the idea. Calgar, who's the werewolf. Guido the turtle, and of course, like I said, Gilgamesh. I love this design. I love that face. He's like a recurring enemy in the game. He's also kind of like a stupid idiot. He's like a goofball. I like that about him. Alright, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Like I said, let me just try to go through this a little more quickly. This is the stuff for Final Fantasy VI. This is the one that a lot of people consider like their favorite. It's up there with like 7 and 4. Just some really fucking stellar work going on here. This is the Magitech armor. Got Terra riding on top of it. Just extremely complex mechanical designs for this game. Some of the scenery. Honestly, like, this camera is shit and does not do some of these illustrations justice. This is just more like a showing you what you got. Well, here's Terra. She's the main character of the game. Locke, who is like the first ally you get, is a thief. Here's another thing for Locke. This is Locke's kind of design in the game, like his final design. I love Locke's design. I think the bandana is a great thief bit. And there he is again. A lot of art of Locke. This is Sabin, who's one of the Figaro brothers. So he's the prince of a kingdom, but he's kind of abdicated the throne to his brother so that he can go off and be a monk. I love his design. Very good monk design. Kind of like Young's, where he's got like the poofy pants and he's shirtless, but it's a cool design. There he is. This is kind of his design in the final game. And beardy gentleman. I love it. And he's the twin brother of... that's a great bit of art right there. That's very cool. He's the twin brother of Edgar, who has the funniest goddamn middle name ever. Roni. Edgar Roni Figaro. So he's like a machinist, so he has like a bunch of fucked up like weapons that he can use in battle, which is really, really cool. This is him with his big ol' son of a bitch gun over here, which is fucking cool. Or maybe his auto crossbow. Shadow, the ninja, who's very cool. He has a dog named Interceptor, which is very good. So some more really good art of Shadow down here. There we go. It's beautiful fucking artwork. There's a reason I bought this book. Here's Shadow over here, taking out a Magitech. And him again with Interceptor, using some of their magic together. Really, really cool. There's a lot of art of Shadow. Here's Setzer. He's in Kingdom Hearts. You fight him in Kingdom Hearts 2. He's like the struggle tournament champion. He's a gambler who's also the owner of like the world's only airship, so you have to kind of convince him to join your team. Really, really cool. I love kind of the black and white checkerboard kind of patterns that are... And then, of course, he's got kind of card suits inside of his cape. This is a dude who's all over his fucking outfit, too. Just beautiful detail. Really illustrates kind of his personality. Which is what's great about this extremely expressive art style that he brings, is that these designs truly do scream like, oh, like, look at this. This bitch, of course he's a gambler. What else could he be? It's great. Pictures of him. Celis, who is kind of a character who was formerly a part of the evil empire you're fighting. She was like the captain. But now she's your ally. She has like magic powers. So she's a mage, but she's also a swordsman, which is cool. Really elegant design. Yellow is a great primary color for this character. This is kind of like her design in the game. Really, really beautiful. We got Realm, who is an annoying ass little child, but who does, admittedly, like everything here, have a great design. She's a pictomancer, so she can like draw shit and make it come to life, which is really cool. There's Gao, who's like a little Mowgli wolf boy who's raised by monsters on the Veld, which is like the big monster field in the game. That's a great design. Very kind of animalistic, almost Beast Boyish with like the green and the animal skins. Except Beast Boy wouldn't wear animal skins because he's like a vegetarian. He would just become an animal. But the green is a great kind of naturalistic color to, of course, associate him. He looks a little yellow here. Associate him with the monsters that he was raised by. Here is Cyan, who is a really, really cool character. He's a samurai from the Kingdom of Dor, I believe. great, very kind of disciplined character. He follows his Bushido code to a T. I love him. It's a great kind of design. Once again, like everybody in this game. Here he is asleep. Very, very cool. And then we got Strago over here. Just an old man. He's a blue mage, so he can copy like magic abilities from animals that he fights or from monsters that he fights. So he's pretty cool. He's useful at least. And there he is again. It's got a very goofy design. Almost Master Roshi-esque. This in particular actually looks like a fucking Toriyama drawing with like a weird vehicle, a weird animal, and like an old man with goggles. It looks like a Toriyama alternate cover. There's Mog the Moogle. Extremely cute design. He's a Moogle. And he's literally the most adorable fucking thing ever. Look at this. There's so many cute concept sketches for him. Very, very beautiful. And Kefka Palazzo, who is the primary antagonist of the game. He is basically the Joker, except if he was God. So that's kind of cool. He starts out the game as kind of like a bumbler who like is trying to catch you, but then he fucking murders the Emperor and uses like the power of the Warring Triad, which are 3 frozen summon monsters, to turn himself into a living god. Then he destroys the world, and you have to return the world to its original form by killing him. There he is. He's very Hisoka, kind of, from Hunter x Hunter, although Hunter x Hunter and Hisoka came out after Final Fantasy VI, I believe. This is an interesting kind of design for him. Lots of green here, which I have established is good, and green is a very vibrant color. Here's Sid, this is one of the more villainous iterations of Sid. He's one of the Empire's mechanics. He makes all their Magitech stuff. Here's the Emperor, Gestal. He looks like an evil Emperor. He kind of looks like Emperor Geldoblame, or more like Geldoblame from Baten Kaitos looks a lot like Emperor Gestal. Bannon, who's one of his soldiers. And Gogo, the mime, who is in Final Fantasy V as well. He's a villain that you fight. In this, he's a character that you can recruit to your party. And he's a mimic. And he can mimic abilities from other characters, which is really, really cool. Leo, just one of the side characters in the game. Terra in her true form as an Eidolon. Oh, it says for some of these characters they're Japanese names too. So she's actually called Tina in Japan. So it says Tina, which is really cool. There we go. This is her true form is that of a summon creature, which is really neat. This is Umaro, who's a very good friend of Mog the Moogle. He's a big, abominable Yeti man. I do really like this design though. He's huggable, but he's still monstrous, which is a good kind of thing to do. We've got some other goofy kids back here. Just a bunch of great designs. But yeah, this is a really fantastically designed game, so you get some wild shit in here. You'll have to excuse me. And of course some environmental paintings, landscape paintings here. More concept designs. It's a little Kappa man. Terra again. Chibi designs for all the characters, which I think were in like the manual or something. This is kind of a different style to see him draw in, at least these characters, but you've got Tina, Terra over here. You've got Locke. The Figaro brothers over here. I really like this one. It's got a lot of personality. Makes Sabin look really cool. And then Shadow over here. We've got Shadow and his dog, Setzer, Cyan. These all kind of look like they're drawn in the same style that he was drawing Strago in before. Like I said, almost Toriyama-esque. Celis, Realm over here. That also kind of looks like a Toriyama drawing. Yeah, you got Gao. Sid with a big ball. And Draco again looking very Master Roshi-esque. And Umaro and Eidolon Terra, which is really, really great. And, wow, you got Gilda Blame, Gogo the Mime, and Kefka. This has got a lot of personality. Look at this Kefka drawing here. Sorry, it's not focusing very well. There we go. His face. He's got so much personality in that face. Really fantastic. Like the other book, it's got some other illustrations at the back. Lots of just, I imagine, promotional kind of stuff, or maybe concepts for game covers. This is the logo for 6, basically, with the Magitech armor. Very, very cool. This is a lot. I can't even show you that because it just doesn't, it's not going to do it justice. And these are some extra Mogs who look like they're drawn in heavy inks or marker. They're very cute. Terra with the Magitech armor again. Kind of a more chibi take on that same concept. Once again, sorry, this camera is really bad. But, yeah, just really, really beautiful stuff in this one. This is a neat little illustration to include. It's like the television completely wrecked by Final Fantasy shit. So that will be book 2 over here of the sky. So here's book 3. There we go. Like I said, big 3 on it. This has got some art of Cloud and Sephiroth on the cover, just to show you what's in here. So, as we saw before, this is the one that includes kind of the extra art, Final Fantasies 7 through to 10. So it's got a few more games art included in it, but because, like I said, his involvement with the games becomes steadily less as you go forward. So even though it's got 4 games as opposed to 3 featured in it, there's less artwork. So here's Cloud and Aerith right there. That's really, really cool. Got a chocobo. Some other creatures kind of around. So here's Final Fantasy 7. It's Cloud on the Shinra motorcycle. Once again, this looks so conceptually different from the game because the game is entirely like Nomura's aesthetic, and it's very simplified because like the polygonal graphics. But like even the final art designs for the game, it's always stuff of Nomura's drawings. This is Cloud. He looks really like, this almost doesn't register as Cloud, right? When you think about it, because he's nothing like it. But then you see, oh well, he's got a Gunblade-esque Buster Sword almost over here. Maybe it's the Mithril Sword. And Red 13 is with him. It's one of my favorite characters in the series. It's him and Aerith. Aerith. Same. Here he is again. Also with Aerith. She's got her staff. This is... I'm not entirely sure. Is that supposed to be Sephiroth? I think it's Sephiroth. Yeah, Cloud again and Aerith. They're such different designs, right? Like that, they really almost barely register as those characters. I guess this is also kind of an initial design for Cloud. Maybe Cloud's design was initially Sephiroth's design, because he looks really Sephiroth-like. Maybe it's meant to be, or Cloud almost looks Zack-like. He kind of looks like Zack, who's the character that Cloud's like entire identity is essentially stolen from. Spoilers for a very old game that you should have played by now if you already haven't. Red 13. Cloud again. There's a lot of art of Cloud. Who else have we got here? This is, I guess, Aerith and Cloud. I guess that particular scene is him holding Aerith's body when she's killed by Sephiroth. Very angelic. This is a beautiful painting. This is Vincent Valentine. He's kind of like an optional character you can get in the game. He's like a vampire gun man. He has a scary talon arm. He's like the edgelord character, but it's a very, very good design. Once again, this registers to me a lot more like Vincent than it does like Cloud. And there's some other characters here. We got Kate Sith up in the corner, weird character. Cloud, Aerith, Red 13. It's kind of a similar drawing of the same thing. I guess that's supposed to be Barrett. Doesn't really look like Barrett, but that's, once again, not really a lot of this art. Kind of looks like the final stuff. There's Sephiroth. That's pretty recognizable as Sephiroth. And that's Cloud again. Lots of Red 13 and Cloud. Which is pretty cool. I like Red 13. I guess he really enjoyed drawing Red 13. There's Tifa. It's a very cool Tifa. I like that he's used a lot of kind of white, and then instead of the brown, he goes for red for the rest of her outfit. I love Tifa. She's a good punch girl, and I like that a lot. And then this is just Midgar, I suppose, with Cloud in the front. It's a lot, like I said, a lot of that art just doesn't look. There's Rinoa. I suppose it's Rinoa. I guess it would have to be. This is Final Fantasy VIII stuff. Not my favorite game in the series, admittedly, but I like the designs, once again. That's okay. I think that's pretty easily Squall. I think that's supposed to be... I guess that's Cypher? Yeah, it's Squall and Cypher. So that's Squall. That's pretty clearly Cypher. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely Squall. So lots of Squall and Cypher. He's holding the gunblade like a fucking doofus because that thing is really stupid and impractical. As is he. I guess that's kind of Quistis or Rinoa? I can't really tell. That's a weirdo kind of looking Squall. Doesn't really look like Squall. Now this is like, I think, if anybody's seen any art for FF8 by Amano, it's these ones. You know, you've got Selfie down there. Rinoa. Zell, who's got a fucking stupid haircut. No Mike Tyson tattoo though, thank Christ. And we've got Squall taking off his jacket, looking actually kind of badass there. I guess that's Bellam Garden in the background. Can't really tell. Soccer ball. This is a pretty interesting and unique piece here. I really, really like this. And it's kind of mirrored over here with a similar piece, but colored differently. And then we've just got, I guess that's Rinoa and Squall at the dance. Ultimecia, who's the villain of the game, and no, this is pretty iconic. This is like the cover of the game, or like the logo, essentially. So he still designs all the logos, so all of those are still kind of intact. That's pretty iconic. I think that's like one of the major pieces of iconography from the game. It is very romantic. Once again, as much as it's not one of my favorite games, there's a lot of stuff I appreciate about it, and I like the idea of making a Final Fantasy game with like a strong romantic through line. There's a bunch of stupid gunblade designs. Truly one of the dumbest looking things ever, but it's also kind of cool. You have to excuse me. It's late and I'm sick and I just kind of wanted to fill some time on the channel. Lots of wild stuff here though. Final Fantasy IX. This is one of my favorite games in the series, one that I'm currently playing. Just lots of fucking, oh my god, so beautiful. This game is really profoundly gorgeous. All these lovely airships. Look at these. It's gorgeous. Oh my god. Really, really cool. He's actually done quite a bit of art for this game because this is one of the games that kind of tried to go back to the series' roots. It's one of the things I kind of like about it. Here's Zidane. Over here. Alright. Yeah, so this is a pretty iconic piece of art from this game. Zidane kind of defending a dagger over here. Yeah, more beautiful artwork. Yeah, there we go. That's just a really stellar piece of artwork. It's absolutely gorgeous. Zidane Tribal. There, Garnet or Dagger, whatever she wants to be called. Garnet is a lovely design once again. These are pretty close to the final designs. Vivi, not so much, but Vivi is also my favorite character in pretty much in the whole series. I love that little bastard. And this is just a really inspired kind of look for the character. I really, really like how it's kind of detailed it is. It's gorgeous. Vivi Oronitsia, that's his name. This is Steiner over here. Freya, one of my favorite characters in the game is Freya. One of my other favorite characters, I should say. There you go, Freya Crescent. She's cool. She's like a rat lady, which is really cool. And she's a dragoon. I love her design. And this is Adalbert Steiner. He looks so much fucking cooler here than he does in the actual game. He looks like a real fucking wad in the game. Which he kind of is. He's like he's a cop, essentially. He's like, fucking sucks, but that's a really, really good look for him. Well, the eyes are kind of the same, but mostly he looks pretty different apart from like the concept of him being a mostly ironclad knight. Amaranth, who's like a character that I never really played as or enjoyed using in the game. And that's a cool detail on his boots, though. I don't know why they chose to highlight that. Eco, who's a summoner. I really like Eco's design. Eco, I always said Eco. And she's got a little Moogle friend over here. Are they Moogles? I don't remember. They're like her little rabbit guys. They're not Moogles. But Eco's cool. She's a summoner. Quinn, another weird, just completely fucking weird character, but I love this design for some reason. I love it in the game too, but this is, I think, a much cooler design. She's like a frog with no gender. I say she. They're a frog with no gender. A bunch of weird kind of detailing here. And Kuja, who is the game's antagonist. Kind of a Sephiroth-like design, I suppose, except he's like a child-sized man. He's like Zidane's height, which is relevant to the story. And then we've got the Tantalus crew, who are kind of like the pirate crew that you're friends with at the beginning. They're a thief band, and they disguise themselves as like a theater troupe, which is neat. And Queen Braun, who is like one of the other primary attacks of the game, Garnet's mother. Really kind of creepy, inhuman design. Like, she's a human, but she's big and bloated, and she's got like blue skin and fucked up hair. She looks like a big ugly baby, which I guess is the idea. Zorn and Thorn, who are kind of her little clown men that she sends after you. Very Kefka-esque, actually, except they're not even half as clever. They're kind of stupid. And here's Garland, who's one of the other kind of antagonists of the game. Really, really cool. And then just more Zidane over here. Lots of great detailing. Lots of Zidane. He did a lot of... I think he probably designed Zidane in the end. Or maybe this is his take on the Nomura design. Then we got Beatrix over here. And then we've got Garnet. Great design. Steiner again. Quina. These are all very close, with the exception of Vivi, to like the final designs in the game. Freya. Once again, just fantastic design. She's a rat woman, and I like it. There we go. Vivi. Amaranth and Eco over there. Amaranth his design is pretty cool. I just never liked playing as him. Lots of stuff. And 10, finally. So there's not a lot of art for 10, but what he did draw is pretty cool. So these are the all bed. I guess it's Riku up there. There's Titus, whatever. This is a pretty good design. These kind of seem more like promo art for the game and less like stuff that he did in like the concept stages of it. Like, it's stuff that he just kind of did because it was expected of him. It looks very close to the designs in the game. I guess that's Yuna. It's a pretty different looking Yuna, actually. She's got long hair this time. Maybe it's earlier than I thought. And this is more like the final version of Yuna with the kind of shorter haircut. Yeah, really nice color palette. Here, there's Kimari, Lulu, Waka back there. We've got Yuna, and we have Titus. It's Titus. That's a lovely one of Titus. There's fucking, what's his name? He's a real bastard. I forget what his name is. He fucking sucks, though. He's like the primary antagonist of the game. He's a real dickhead. Seymour Guado. He's a Guado. He fucking sucks. He's like got a creepy blue penis head with like a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh haircut. He sucks. And this is him trying to creepily marry Yuna, which he tries to do, and it's gross. He sucks. This is them all around a bonfire. This is a nice character moment to illustrate. We got Auron over here. Auron. Sorry. Auron. Yuna. I guess it's Riku. You got Titus. Waka. His main girl, Lulu. Waka's a racist bastard. Kimari. And Sid, I guess that's Sid, who's an Al-Bhed, like Riku. And Sin, who's kind of like one of the big bads of the game. He's like a Godzilla-ass monster that the primary goal of the game is to find out what the fuck Sin is and to stop it. And there's him. There's Titus in battle. Interesting stuff. It's fighting some more. This game is very water heavy, like it's got a Southeast Asian kind of aesthetic to it, which is really cool. So there's a lot of watery kind of art for it, which is neat. Him and Yuna. This game's also kind of got a romantic plot, but it's not. I don't think it's as romantic as Final Fantasy VIII, which is, if anything, at the very least, idealistically romantic or conceptually romantic. This is more kind of like Titus is a whiny bitch who fucking sucks. And his dad was really mean to him, which sucked, and it is what kind of made him a spoiled little asshole, but I don't know. It was a lovely Yuna. God, sorry, this camera really does not do these things justice, but I just want to show off these books. They're really nice. I want to show you why I like them so much. And there's Titus with his sword. And Titus kind of in the Xanarkand, I guess, at the bottom of the sea, in stasis. Pretty cool. And then this is some art, I guess, for the design. And some other illustrations he did. Cloud, Sephiroth. A lot of this is kind of sketchier versions of what we've seen earlier. We've got Seifer over there, and we've got Squall. Yeah, it's kind of the leftovers. Look up at the sky. There must be a fantasy. Which I guess is why they're called the sky. So there we go, that's part 3 over here. I guess this is Squall and Renoa in the back. This is really, really nice, actually. Pretty lovely. And yeah, that's book 3 of the sky. Really just fantastic stuff. Hey, so yeah, this has been my little... I suppose it's like an unscripted review of the Sky, The Art of Final Fantasy by Yoshitaka Amano. It's a really beautiful set. It's, like I said, a little on the pricier side. It's going to run you over $100 with tax included and shipping and handling and stuff. But if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, or if you're a fan of Yoshitaka Amano and his art, it's like a must-own. It's a really beautiful set of books. And I honestly couldn't be happier with the purchase I made. It's just... stellar. So thanks for, if you made it all the way through this thing, thanks for making it all the way through. That was really cool of you. Maybe I'll do more of these if you like just kind of hearing me ramble. But it's good to fill space on the channel, put a little something on it that's not, you know, a video, a podcast. But, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Yoshitaka Amano and this book set. So thank you very much for